Okay. I kind of went off on a rabbit trail there just before we took break. I was looking at God. God does not allow for a democracy. He really more is set up as king over people. All right? Democracy, that the term means mob rule, and the mob can be influenced by a small number of people. And our founding fathers saw this. They actually probably saw what happened with French. When the French Revolution occurred, it was a mob rule. It was a democracy, and it was a total disaster. We are too readily influenced by rumor, negative reports, and things like that. That's what happened. The almost 3 million people, minus the 4, went with the 10. Instead of listening to the fact of what the 2 were saying. The 2 were saying, listen, God's in charge. He's given these people to us. But no, they heard and went with the negative. And so this is what got them in trouble. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And so I want to take, we're going to look, I want you to see the 10, what I'll call tests. The word test here really is the word to prove, okay? When you prove something. When you take gold and you heat it up and you take off the what do they call that? Yeah, one of you got that. Okay. The dross. Then you start to prove the gold. You make it fine. And tests do this for us. Now let me just real quickly go through, because I got some other points I want you to see, but I want you to see these 10 tests. The first test was at the Red Sea. They got trapped by the sea and the mountains in Pharaoh, and they grumbled and complained and said, what? Weren't there enough graves in Egypt to bury us, and you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Okay. The second one was Exodus 15, 23 through 26. They leave the Red Sea, they come to Marah, and the waters there are bitter. So they grumbled because, oh, we're going to die of thirst, okay? Again, what are they doing? They're not trusting that God will get them out, okay? And so God showed Moses his tree, said, cut it down, throw it in the water. When he did, the water turned sweet and they were able to drink. Number 3, number 3. The people grumbled because they had nothing to eat. You know, oh, we're going to die. Again, you know, we take us back to Egypt. Oh, that we had stayed there. Listen. They were cussing every time they said that. In God's ears, they were cussing. Egypt is a cuss word to God. You know, he didn't like their wanting to go back into, really, the world. Following God's too hard. And we're going to see that because there's another one where they complained about adversity. Okay? But number 3, they grumbled about nothing to eat. God brought quail. Then the next day he started bringing the manna. And he told them, he says, don't be gluttons, only collect what you need for the day. Well, the people didn't believe him, and so they took a lot more than a day's worth. But unfortunately, what they found out was that worms developed, and it smelt out of, well, probably like you're in a pigsty. Number 4 is in the same passage, Exodus 16, 1 through 18, because God said, listen, on the 6th day, collect 2 days' worth, so you don't have to on the Sabbath. So God said, listen, every day collect enough for that day. Each day will handle its own. But on that 6th day, you collect for 2 days because you're not going to work on the Sabbath. Well, test number 4, not only did they grab up too much each day for a while till they realized that wasn't the smart thing to do, but they went out on the Sabbath to collect. All right. Number 5, they again grumbled for water because they didn't have enough, and that's when Moses struck the rock. Number 6 is the golden calf. They were waiting for Moses. He'd been gone for 40 days. Well, close to the end of that time, they went to Aaron and said, "Hey, make us a Yahweh." And so Aaron took their earrings, their gold earrings, melted them down, and it said he formed a calf. But when Aaron tells Moses what happened, he said, "I don't know what happened. I threw the gold in and out came this calf." He lied. He lied, okay? So they're wanting to have, as a matter of fact, when he presented the calf, Aaron said, "Behold Yahweh." I don't know why it is we have trouble wanting to worship and give glory and honor to something we can't see. It's got to be something we see. So the golden calf. Then number 7 is in Numbers 11. The people just complained. "Oh, this is too hard. Oh, I don't want to be out here. Oh, we can't do it this way." And God got mad and set fires and incinerated the periphery of their camp, and it ended up taking some lives. Okay, that's number 7. Number 8 is when Numbers 13:1 says, "Later the Lord said to Moses, 'Send men to explore out the land.'" Okay, in other words, it's part of the story that we kind of know, and this is what we go with, is that God told Moses to send the spies out. Well, if you look at Deuteronomy chapter 1, it says, and this is Moses talking, "Then we set out from Horeb and went through all the great and terrible wilderness which you saw on the way till the hill country of the Amorites, just as the Lord our God commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said to you, you have come to the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord our God is about to give us. See, the Lord your God has placed the land before you. Go up, take possession as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has spoken. Do not fear or be dismayed." Then listen, verse 22. "Then all of you approached me and said, 'Let us send men before us, that they may search out the land.'" What we're seeing here after the fact is that the people said, "Hey," Moses got them to Kadesh Barnea. He said, "Look, that's the land." And they said, "Well, if it's so good, let's check it out before we go over there, because we don't know what we're getting ourselves into." And so Moses obviously went to God, and God came back to Moses and said, "Okay, send out 12, and these are the 12 you're supposed to send out." So they tested God again. They still have not believed in him. Number 9 is in Numbers 13, 26 through 14:4. It's the people receiving and believing the bad report. "Oh, we can't do this. God, what did you do to us? You brought us out here to kill us again." And then number 10 is this. The people said, "Let's stone them, and let's appoint a leader to take us back to Egypt." So those were the 10 tests, the 10 provens of God. And this is what made him boil and finally say, "None of these that have seen all that I've done for them are going to go into the land." Because they have not trusted in God. In every one of those cases, it's the people versus God. All right? They didn't trust God. in every situation. Listen, God does all this stuff. He's the God of the universe, the God of miracles. He's the God they watched the waters of the Red Sea part. They walked through the walls of water on both sides on dry ground, not even getting their feet muddy. God took them out. God was leading them by a fire and by a cloud by day. Listen, clouds don't follow you or lead you. But they had this cloud that was leading them. It was probably over top of them, giving them protection from the sun. It was giving them light at night and maybe even heat in the desert. He provided quail. Every week, quail came and plop, just fell. Every day, they went out and they picked manna off the ground. A dew formed and it crystallized and became a substance that gave them nourishment. Really? Oh man, it gave them nourishment for 40 years. Their hearts weren't in tune with God. And a weak heart, weak faith makes you have, or weak hearts make you have faith in your senses and what you see instead of in God. Oh, I've got to quit here, guys. Listen, change this. Set it on God. Look at His Word, learn it, believe it, and let's walk in it. God bless you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.